of the ISKCON movement, along with reading Prabhupada's books every day, basing all our practices and teachings on his books, daily guru puja in the temple, daily class from his books, and the Vyasa Puja, which celebrates the appearance day of the spiritual master, is celebrated in all the ISKCON temples all over the world every year. Oh, the first thing, when I walked in, first thing I noticed was the wonderful scent of the roses offered to Srila Prabhupada. I was reminded of Mother Govinda Dasi's new book, Days of Sandalwood and Roses. And if I could put in a quick plug here, besides reading all of Srila Prabhupada's books every day, which we should all be doing, many of the devotees who had close association with Prabhupada have written memoirs, and they're all wonderful. And if you read, some of my favorites are Shama Sundar's Chasing Rhinos with the Swami, Harisari's 5-part diary, transcendental diary, and of course Saswati Maharaj's Lilamrita. Sandalwood Rose is also one. So I feel a little bit, I'm going to be quoting a little bit from Srila Prabhupada. And how can we know how to praise Srila Prabhupada except what Prabhupada has taught us? It feels a little bit like, when you worship the Ganges, you ought to take a little Ganges water and offer it to the Ganges. So maybe I'll quote some of Prabhupada's words in order to help us understand the glories of Srila Prabhupada. So, the meaning of Vyasa Puja is the spiritual master is the manifested mercy of Krishna. We give thanks for the day he appeared in this world. Externally, the spiritual master comes to remind us of what the guru in the heart, the Paramatma, the Chaitya Guru, is trying to teach us, because we're covered with this matter, and our minds and senses are so contaminated we can't hear it. So it's only by the mercy of Krishna that the external, it's called the mercy incarnation of God. The mercy incarnation of God comes before us. We can understand when we read the spiritual master. This is the mercy by the arrangement of Krishna. So, in Calcutta, Prabhupada was asked, what is the duty of the spiritual master, and what is the duty of the disciple? And then he answered his own question. The duty of the spiritual master is to serve Krishna, and the duty of the disciple is to assist the spiritual master. For example, in the fourth verse of the Guruvasika that's chanted every day at Guru Puja, it says that the spiritual master is engaged in temple worship, like Sri Radha and Krishna. He also engages his disciples in such worship. So everything we do, all service, we can think of this is my spiritual master doing this, and I'm simply assisting, whether it's worshiping the deity, or cleaning the temple floor, cooking in the kitchen, whatever service, distributing Prabhupada's books. We're all assisting our spiritual master. At the beginning of the movement, we all know the story of how Prabhupada came and struggled to establish this movement. When the first disciples came, Prabhupada had to do everything himself. He cooked all the offerings. He served it to the devotees himself. He led all the kirtans. He gave all the classes. Everything. So when he was training them to do all these things, and when they got a little trained up, and they could take on these responsibilities, Prabhupada didn't like take it easy. Okay, I have people now. I can relax it. No, he did more. He deputed those disciples to go open centers of themselves all over the world, in San Francisco and Montreal and Boston and England and gradually pretty much every corner of the earth. And those disciples, they took on the role that Prabhupada had originally done, cooking the offerings, serving the prasadam, distributing the books, preaching and cultivating new devotees, so that you had a whole generation of devotees who had not had that personal interaction with Prabhupada, but Prabhupada was expanding himself through the Krishna consciousness movement, through this kind of society. And as he deputed his devotees all over the world, Prabhupada took on more and more, traveling constantly to keep the devotees enlivened, and starting immense and amazing projects in India, taking his disciples back to India, starting reviving the original culture of Krishna consciousness that had been dormant. So Prabhupada didn't discriminate who was fit for Krishna consciousness. Just like we chant in the Sadhu Swamyastika, the prayers of 6 Goswamis, that Dhira Dhira Janapriya, that they were popular both with the gentle and with the ruffians. So Dhira means Dhira, Adhira. Dhira means defined as sober. Here it's defined as gentle, Dhira and Adhira, gentle and ruffians. Dhira can also be translated one who's not disturbed even in the presence of or cause of disturbance, or sober, self-control. So the first people who came to Srila Prabhupada, most of them you could describe clearly as adhira, ruffians, crazy, drugged out hippies, sex mongers, meat eaters. Pretty much everyone came from the meat eater background. But Prabhupada very patiently gave them Krishna consciousness, giving them everything. Prabhupada described how it took gallons of blood to train new devotees. And Prabhupada was willing to sacrifice anything to carry on the order of his guru and Lord Chaitanya's movement. So, I want to give. So those are the ruffians, but we say Dhira Adhira. Also, with the Prabhupada was also dear to the more refined. I want to give the example of Prabhupada's godbrother, Bhaktivinoda Puri Maharaj. And this is described very wonderfully in Mother Mula Prakriti's book, Our Srila Prabhupada, Friend to All. Actually, some of these details are from her book, and some are from her remembrance tapes on YouTube, you can look up. So, when Prabhupada first went back to India with his disciples, sometimes his godbrothers would come to see him. And Prabhupada would encourage them to help. Well, one thing that they frequently would not accept prasadam from the hands of Prabhupada's Western disciples. They were low-born and fallen. From Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj particularly, he was a very popular Brahmin, high-class Brahmin family, and very accomplished in Gaudiya Math and writing and Jagyas, he installed practically all the deities in all the Gaudiya temples all over India. So when he visited Prabhupada, he wouldn't accept prasad, even a glass of water from the hand of one of Prabhupada's Western disciples. They were Chandalas, Malechas. So this is very early on in the fledgling moments of the movement. Fast forward a few years, 1975, Puri Maharaj, everyone noticed the great success that Prabhupada was having his preaching, establishing so many temples and distributing so many books and making so many devotees. So Puri Maharaj wrote to Srila Prabhupada. Puri Maharaj had acquired a temple. Someone had donated. It was old and dilapidated. He was trying to make the repairs. So he wrote Prabhupada to see if he would be willing to help. And Prabhupada wrote this amazing letter. He's very heavy with him. I'd never seen a letter in this move from Prabhupada or anything. I'm going to read some of this because it's unbelievable the transcendental sarcasm Prabhupada is throwing at Puri Maharaj. Because, Dear Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, please accept my obeisances and the due receipt of your letter dated August 27, 1875, and noted its contents. Yes, it is Bhagavan's special mercy. First he starts by bragging how much money he's collected. Yes, it is Bhagavan's special mercy upon me that I'm getting such immense wealth. You will be pleased to know that my books are selling to the extent of $1 million per month. And this is where he lowers the hammer. But this money is coming from Malechas and Yavanas. That is the difficulty. This money is not coming from Brahmanas. Therefore, I am afraid to contribute to you as you request. How shall I give to you and pollute you? They are all Malechas, and you are a rigid Brahmana, Paka. So how will you accept it? Oh, and here's the kicker. After coldly refusing his request, if you like, you can hand over the management charge of your temple, and my devotees will manage. I hope this meets you in good health. Yours faithfully, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. So, if it ended there, we could think, oh, wow, Prabhupada really gave it to him, shows him, to disrespect Prabhupada's preaching and his disciples. But the story is far from over. Excuse me.
It's okay.
I get a little emotional telling this story. In the late 90s, 1999, Mother Mula Priti was going around India interviewing people who knew Prabhupada before he came to the West. She wanted to go see Puri Maharaj, and Puri Maharaj, by that time, he was practically ready to leave his body. He was on a respirator and he wasn't taking visitors. But he heard that Prabhupada's disciple was gathering this information. And he said he wanted to share something significant about Srila Prabhupada. That he wanted the world to know. So, Mula Priti already knew about the letter, but she went in to see Puri Maharaj. He was received very warmly. He told the story. So, a couple of years after this letter in 1975, when Prabhupada was getting ready to leave his body, many of his godbrothers came to see him, and they would ask forgiveness. And Prabhupada would ask them to forgive his offenses he may have committed in his preaching. And they would tell him, no, you've not committed any offense. If anything, it was us who created the offense. Prabhupada, Puri Maharaj was there on one of these occasions in Vrindavan, and Prabhupada knew that Puri Maharaj had wanted to sing for their spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, before he was leaving his body, but he didn't get a chance. So he asked Puri Maharaj, will you please give me one gift? And Puri Maharaj said, yes, I'll give you whatever you want. He says, I wanted to go on parikrama. Prabhupada's final days, he wanted to go on parikrama around Govardhan and around Vrindavan, but he was unable to do so. So he asked Puri Maharaj, will you sing for me? Will you sing Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan? And I'll be able to go on parikrama. So Puri Maharaj sang very sweetly, and Prabhupada closed his eyes, and there was tears coming from both her eyes. And after some time, Prabhupada opened his eyes and said, "No, I would like to, out of gift, I would like to offer, out of love, I'd like to offer a gift to you. Will you please accept?" Oh yes, Swamiji, I'll accept whatever it is you offer." So Prabhupada whispered something to one of his disciples, who came back a few minutes later with a plate of prasadam. This halwa, I think Nancy. And now this is, of course, was prasadam that was cooked, offered, and was being offered by one of Prabhupada's Western disciples. And Prabhupada wanted very much that the Vaishnavas in India would respect his disciples as legit Vaishnavas who could perform deity worship and carry out all the brahminical functions. So, as the disciple was handing the plate of prasadam to Puri Maharaj, Prabhupada put his hand under the plate and said, "I'm offering this to you." Get both hands together. And Puri Maharaj, he said as he was eating this prasadam, he just felt himself filled and overwhelmed with great spiritual mercy. And the gift that Prabhupada was giving Puri Maharaj was not just some halava. He was giving him the realization that all jivas are qualified to take the bhakti with no distinction of caste or creed. And the Lord Chaitanya's movement is based on this. So, Puri Maharaj, for the rest of his life, he actually actively preached to Westerners, initiated many, and helped many along the way of Krishna consciousness. And he credited all this to Prabhupada's mercy. He told Mula Prakriti that your spiritual master has pleased our Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, more than anyone could have even imagined. He's done everything, but by his mercy, he's let me do a small part. So, as members of Prabhupada's movement, this is actually our position. As that Prabhupada's done everything, but he's allowed us to play a small part. Whatever we can do in carrying on Prabhupada's work, we should take up, thinking that this is to serve. And of course, now there are many gurus who are disciples, even grand disciples of Srila Prabhupada. So I'm serving my guru, who's serving Prabhupada. You know, one of the things this traditions like this Guru Puja to Srila Prabhupada is to be able to carry on the future of our movement for generations to come. You know, Prabhupada's direct disciples are leaving us at an alarming rate. Every week you hear, oh, so-and-so Prabhu is gone. And many of you will see the day when there are no living direct disciples of Prabhupada. And you may tell your grandchildren, yeah, I knew many Prabhupada disciples, and I was even initiated by one. And their grandchildren may, they may tell their grandchildren, yeah, my grandmother or my grandfather, they were actually initiated by a direct Prabhupada disciple. So what we're doing here is not just for our lifetime, but for all generations to come, to carry out and expand the work that Prabhupada has started. So, last thing, Puri Maharaj told to Mula Priti was, Doyalu, so kind, so out of kindness, Prabhupada has brought this Krishna conscious movement to us. So, I would just like to close with a very brief Vyasa Puja offering of my own. Dear Srila Prabhupada, you told us you cannot think small. Your plans were immense for the re-spiritualization of the entire human society. And you put in place everything necessary to do that and left us to fill in the details. You freely gave Krishna consciousness to everyone, regardless of qualification. At great personal inconvenience, you came to the West on the order of your spiritual master at advanced age. Funny how time flies. A few years later, I find myself at that exact same advanced age, 7 years old. A godbrother told me, these are your Prabhupada years. So, I pray that you please give me the wisdom how to use my Prabhupada years in a way that will be pleasing to you in the association of devotees. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
What a wonderful offering by Prabhu.
Yes.
And as you can, you see how we are going together now in this country especially. Even though we are born Indian families, we are all coming up with a Western upbringing in a way. And how Prabhupada has saved all of us to take care of all of us, not just only from one particular background. It's a very important message. I'm really happy that we share this. And how smart Prabhupada was to give the prasadam and put his hand under the person disciple's hand to give the plate. Amazing. So now Prabhuji was requested to do the last Puja meaning offering and this offering. So now we'll have the limited time offering from everyone going onwards. So in real time, we'll have also one time too. Now this Prabhu, you'd like to say a few words in a few minutes. Thank you very much. How long? 2 minutes? That's 5 minutes for you, right?
Whatever.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshuramitam Jena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah.
Yes, sir. Your camera. Thank you.
Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangulangayate Girim Yatkrivatamahvande Sri Guru Dinatharam. So thank you for asking me to glorify Sri Prabhupada, Dvaipan Prabhu. Jasya deve para bhakti yatha deve tatha guru tasyaite kathitaya artha prakasante mahatmanam. By the causeless mercy of the spiritual master and Krishna, everything reveals to us. Not only the Vedic literature, but everything reveals to us. So therefore, we have to have the unflinching faith in Guru and Krishna. then our advancement will proceed forward. We will go forward. So therefore, the spiritual master, the moment we get up in the Mangala, just in the morning, we start praying. Who do we pray? First we start from spiritual master. Bande Gorasri Charana Aravinda. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of the spiritual master. So, therefore, spiritual master is the mentor for disciples. Without spiritual master's causeless mercy, just one cannot make any advancement. Therefore, Dhyayansu Vasyasya Jasyas Tri Sandhya. 3 times we try to remember Guru and Krishna by chanting our Gayatri mantra. After Harinam initiation, we are giving the second initiation to remember spiritual master and Krishna just for our advancement. Dhyayansu Vasyasya Jasyas Tri Sandhya. Morning, afternoon and evening. Spiritual master is the direct and confidential servant of the Supreme Lord. And he acts just like catalyst. Those who understand little scientific language, catalyst is, the business of the catalyst is to make acid and base neutral. So when we come in contact with the spiritual master remains in between Guru and Krishna, Jiva and Krishna. So just like granulated zinc, the zinc when we put in sulfuric acid, it goes up and down until it becomes soluble. So likewise, when we come in contact with the spiritual master, until our bad karma is soluble, he tries to help us and guide us how to make spiritual advancement by serving Krishna. So therefore, he is our mentor. Spiritual master is no one else but the external manifestation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. And Krishna, out of his causeless mercy, he sends his representative, who is Krishna. He comes to guide us. He comes to uplift us. He comes to help us to go home back to Godhead. So therefore, spiritual master's role is very unique and special. Therefore, Bande Gora Sri Charana Aravinda, we offer our respectful obeisances always. When Srila Prabhupada established his ISKCON movement, and he actually, the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, introduced the Guru Puja every day because of our advancement. And we never found, we went to Gaudiya Math and we never found the everyday Guru Puja. So Prabhupada is the one who introduced us the Guru Puja because of our advancement. We have to worship the spiritual master such a way so that Krishna will be just pleased and just he will come and help us. And he will just, take us home back to Godhead. So therefore, Guru is very, very essential for us. So I was asked to speak only 5 minutes. So I will tell little, I have many things to say, but just anyway, I will speak 5 minutes. A lot of them are going to speak. So I had a chance to meet Srila Prabhupada in 1977 directly. When I said something like that, devotees, new devotees, they don't believe. Because when I was 15, I met Srila Prabhupada in Vrindavan. And I was told about 8 senior devotees were there. and I was told, just go sit right next to the head of Srila Prabhupada, and they gave me a small pair of kartals, and then they told me to precisely just, you chant soft kirtan. So I sat next to the head of Srila Prabhupada and just chanted soft kirtan, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the way he chants, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Before Prabhupada's departure, 2 to 3 months, so I was fortunate enough to go and see him, just sat right next to his head and chanted this same tune, soft kirtan. And after that, just they asked me, why don't you clean Prabhupada's room? When I started cleaning the Prabhupada's room, why don't you put the incense stick? And in India, they put the bubble gums. Just why don't you put all this for purification? So I did that. And then just, they went to give Srila Prabhupada massage. So I was so enthusiastic. I was a young boy. I was so enthusiastic. I also went and started giving massage to Srila Prabhupada. So I was thinking just, oh my Lord, just how you're so kind to me. Kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So devotees, they inspire each other and they talk about the Supreme Lord, because the Lord is sitting within our heart. As Chaitanya Guru, he is inspiring. So Krishna gave me that inspiration. Just I went and started giving a little massage to Prabhupada. And then after that, they told, why don't you go? So there were so many GBC members were there. So why don't you go and just wash Prabhupada's pots? So Mother Devi Sakti was there in the kitchen. She was the Prabhupada's cook in Vrindavan. So she said, just one of them, they told me to go. So I went over there and she gave me very, very strict instructions. I was really sick, he's just a young boy. So she said, this is the pot in which Srila Prabhupada takes his prasadam. So therefore you have to be very careful. And if you go right now, even just those who go to Vrindavan, how many of you have been to Vrindavan? You saw those porcelain pots? It's looking, let's put it in this way, it's looking like white and greenish color. Prabhupada's pots, Prabhupada's cups, Prabhupada's plates, everything white, greenish. Still it is in the display in Prabhupada's museum. So those plots, so she gave me some very delicate detergent, and she told you, be careful, it won't, that you should see that it doesn't slip on your hand. Otherwise it's very delicate, just it may break once it falls on the floor. So I was very careful, I washed that, and then she said, why don't you clean Srila Prabhupada's utensils? It was lying on the sink. I was saying, wow, Krishna is so merciful. Krishna is so merciful, just in which Srila Prabhupada's bhoga is being cooked. So I went and started cleaning everything. I was so excited. I was jumping up and down. Wow, Eureka, I found something. What I found? I found Krishna's pure devotee who is lying over here on the bed, but he is just like Vishmadev. He is fighting against Maya. So by coming in contact with such pure devotee, we can also become purified. Just like a touchstone, coming in contact with the touchstone, any metal becomes gold. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I was fortunate enough, one more minute, I was fortunate enough, I traveled many places around the world. I traveled many places in India, some places in America just to introduce some people and collect wherever Srila Prabhupada went. I was one of the biography staff, and the biography staff were called Biography Gems, Gems, Biography Gems. So I joined Srila Satsuru Maharaj in Ithanagari, and I started serving, and he has acknowledged in his biography, and that was the most important service which I think I was rendering to Srila Prabhupada. And I printed Srila Prabhupada's millions of books as a BVT manager. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada, just giving me this chance. And by your causeless mercy, by the causeless mercy of the Vaishnavas, I'm still surviving in the movement. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai! Hare Krishna.
So next will be Rasputin Prabhu, followed by Niraj Prabhu, then followed by Marisha.
Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshu Namadi Pasya Dashavani Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gauravata Vrinda Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So yesterday when the program, they were doing the drama, they played the song Krishna Krupa Ho to bhi Krishna ka naam le sakoge. That was really, really wonderful song. Whoever wrote, I don't know the author. Unless, sorry, singer I know, Gauravani and Madhav Band. So it was a wonderful song. But the meaning clearly says, unless you have the mercy of Krishna, you cannot even take the name of Krishna. And whoever is listening to the song, they are already taking Krishna's name. That means Krishna mercy is flowing. But it is all possible because of Srila Prabhupada, for me at least. In my case, I came in contact with the devotees only because of Prabhupada. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been sitting here and talking about him. I am not eligible to even utter Prabhupada's name for the work that he has done. So, and when Prabhupada was saying, when Prabhupada was serving, when he was old, he was getting vegetables from the from the store and cleaning the vegetables, cutting the vegetables, cooking for somebody he doesn't even know. Even at home, when somebody, my wife asked me to do something, or really I need to do this, I'll say. But why Prabhupada have to do for somebody who doesn't even know? Because he is so committed. He guaranteed that if we follow the process, we all will go at some point. We may go at different times, but definitely what Prabhupada has given to us will take us. How did I come in contact with even Prabhupada's name? When I was in college back in 97, 98, one of the Sunday, me and my roommate were sitting there, and we finished almost every movie around the town. We had nothing to do, and he said, there is a program that is happening. ISKCON is doing. Let's go there. I don't even know what is ISKCON at that time. Other than knowing Krishna's name, I don't know what is the ISKCON organization. And it happened in one of a very big auditorium. When I went in there were very, very few people scattered, sitting two people in one of the corner. And we picked the last seats to sit all the way in the back. And the program probably went for 45 minutes or something. I don't even know. I don't remember even what did they preach at that time. But surprisingly, my eyes got attention of Prabhupada, just like what we call Prabhupada deity. He was on the stage. We were way in the back. Prabhupada's deity was there in the right corner. People were talking and going. The whole program was done. Then me and my friend were thinking, who is that person for the whole program didn't even move? At that time we were thinking maybe so in meditation, we didn't even know. But only when I came to ISKCON, then I know it's a Prabhupada's deity. So it happened like only after that happened, maybe 10, 13 years, then I got in contact with devotees who were able to preach me and pull me into this process. And without them, I wouldn't have opportunity to have this wonderful family that I have in ISKCON of Orlando, who works very closely, much more than a family member. Family members will have differences. We will also have differences, but we all come together because we have a pure devotee mission that we want to carry. So with that, thank you everyone. Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada ki jai.
So next will be Niraj Prabhu, followed by Marisha, followed by Oscar Prabhu.
And I think the devotees have said the prayers, so we just go into offering. Just a matter of saying some time.
Hare Krishna everyone. I want to offer my most humble obeisances to the lotus feet of the Srila Prabhupada. And again, as we are gathered here to offer our offerings to Srila Prabhupada, but again, it's very difficult to summarize and offer our obeisances to Srila Prabhupada in just couple of minutes or words. Because the way Srila Prabhupada has done, the way he has inspired us, instructed us, or empowered us through his books or voice, we cannot summarize in just few minutes or words. So I was finding, I was researching about Prabhupada, how can I, glorify Prabhupada in just 2 or 3 minutes, and I came across a couple of important points. I thought of sharing those points with you. First, again, the empowerment of ISKCON. So Prabhupada laid the foundation of ISKCON, I think, in 1966 in New York, and in the next 10 years or so, he established 100 more ISKCONs, and now ISKCON is in more than 100 countries. So that's again one of the biggest achievements, that I see. And just because of Prabhupada, we are all sitting here. And Prabhupada, again, he has given us home in all cities of the world, or I'll say most of the cities of the world. We have such a huge family. Wherever you go, you will find ISKCON. I have come across, then I think in 2018 or something, when there was hurricane here, and I was running around, and all of my friends, they were going from one city to other city, and hurricane was following there. And what I did is I followed the ISKCON. I was checking where is the nearest ISKCON. I'll just go there, so I will be safe. I can listen to the literatures and I can eat the prasadam. So that's when I realized the importance of Prabhupada, what Prabhupada has done for us. So again, if you go to any city, right, you can stay in the devotees' home anywhere. You don't have to worry about the prasadam. You don't have to worry about culture, everything. Second point, what I wanted to add here, right, is Prabhupada's prolific writing and translator. Prabhupada, he wrote, I think, if I am not wrong, more than 60 volumes of Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. So now again, whoever has these 3 books, it's very nice. We can make use of it. If anyone doesn't have, then please, I request spending, some time and think about getting the printed copy instead of digital copy about that. And I read a quote about Srila Prabhupada yesterday, where it says, Prabhupada's pen does not have ink. Prabhupada's pen does not have ink. Instead, it has fire. And fire to burn the, or fire to awake the entire world. Fire to burn the demoniac nature of everyone, whatever we have. So thank you Prabhupada for that. And again, it's a small conversation, I had with one of my friends, and I was talking about Prabhupada. Like people generally come in Rath Yatra and who they do not belong to ISKCON, they just think, who is this guy, they are offering, and before God. And I was educating him about Prabhupada, and he said, okay, he just asked me a question, to glorify Prabhupada, and so that he will know and he can preach other kids. So I just asked him, just give me a small example. There is a honey. Honey, that there is a honey, but how can you taste it? Unless you taste it, you will not enjoy it. So Prabhupada is a spoon, is a medium to taste the honey. So with that, I'll say that again, I cannot summarize, but again, if I commit any mistake in the glorification of Prabhupada, I beg forgiveness from everyone. And with that, I'll thank you everyone. Happy Vyasa Puja.
Puja. So next will be Marisha, followed by Oscar Prabhu, followed by Praveen Prabhu. So I quickly want to highlight one of my favorite qualities about Srila Prabhupada, which is his humility. So, Srila Prabhupada established so many temples, he did so much, and like Prabhu mentioned earlier, he did millions of dollars with all of his books. But that doesn't mean that he, it doesn't mean that he thought he was this exalted personality and that that everybody should honor him in such a way. I just want to read a couple things in relation to this. So the first is a quote from the Jaladuta diary. This is Srila Prabhupada's words. Although my Guru Maharaj ordered me to accomplish this mission, I am not worthy or fit to do it. I am very fallen and insignificant. Therefore, O Lord, now I am begging for your mercy, so that I may become worthy, for you are the wisest and most experienced of all. If you bestow your power, by serving the spiritual master, one attains the absolute truth. One's life becomes successful. If that service is obtained, then one becomes happy and gets your association due to good fortune. So, even I can see, we get service, we get little services here and there, and then you think, oh, I hope people see this work that I did, or that, I did this so nicely. And it's just some small thing that we're doing, but we're getting so puffed up about it. And Srila Prabhupada, he did so much, but he still experienced exhibited the greatest humility, and I really appreciate that. And then a second thing, this is Tamal Krishna Maharaj says this pastime. So, I'll just read this. Recognizing Tamal Krishna's organizational ability, Prabhupada spends a lot of time training him in management skills. So he gave him some position, and then one day Srila Prabhupada calls him into his room, and he starts showing him this painting, and it's a painting on the Bhagavatam, and he's pointing out the different features of creation, Krishna, how the entire creation is simply an expansion of Krishna's energy. And he points to the corner where Mahavishnu is lying down in the causal ocean, and he's explaining how millions of universes emanate from his pores during just one breath. And then this is a direct quote from Tamal Krishna Maharaj. Prabhupada said, each universe is filled with unlimited numbers of living entities who inhabit all of the planets and stars. One of these planets is our Earth, and on this planet there are many continents. On one continent, there is America, and in America, there are so many big cities. Here's Los Angeles, and in Los Angeles, there is a street, La Cienega Boulevard. On this street, among all of the buildings, is a temple of Lord Krishna, and in this temple, there is one Tamal Krishna. He is there, and is thinking that he is very important. Then Prabhupada looked at me and smiled. He was showing me how unimportant I really was. The lesson was clear. No one had the right to become puffed up, no matter how important his position might seem to be. So I just want to express my gratitude to Srila Prabhupada for doing so much while still exhibiting this mood of humility. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So next will be Oscar Prabhu, followed by Praveen, followed by Sunil Prabhu.
So I'm still learning how to properly glorify someone. In the Western culture, it's not really too common to do that, but in the Bhakti tradition, it's very, very important. And as I continue to learn, I try to pick up from others, and by practice, hopefully this be the practice of attempting to glorify Srila Prabhupada. I begin to learn how to properly do it. So Prabhupada, as I normally come into the temple, I I bow down to you and I give thanks. And today I hope to do the same to you, to give thanks for everything that you have done, for doing the difficult thing of starting Krishna consciousness in the Bhakti movement here in America, and how much of an impact that's had on our society here in America, and how fortunate we are, and how fortunate I am to have stumbled upon your work and your books. And I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful for everything you have done, and I hope to continue to serve in your mission. Srila Prabhupada ki.
So next will be Praveen, followed by Sunil Prabhu, followed by Navya.
Hare Krishna. So before showing my gratitude towards Prabhupada, so firstly I felt I'm nowhere to glorify Prabhupada, so that's what I'm feeling initially. But at least I'll share what I feel. So it is said that if we classify the selfishness of a person, it starts from himself, then he is selfish about his family, then selfishness means his attachment. So firstly he is attached to himself, then to his family, then his attachment goes to his caste people, then his attachment goes to his state people, then his attachment goes to his religion, then his attachment goes to nation. So, but if you see Prabhupada at the age of 69, he taking the instruction from his master, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and surviving 3 heart attacks, and he's coming to the Western world. So if you see physically, there is no relationship between Prabhupada and the Western people. But all he see is the real attachment of the soul to the Krishna. So he saw that eternality, and he keep all these kinds of attachments, like to his family, country, nation, religion, and everything. So at the age of 70, surviving 3 heart attacks, and he provided the real object of every living entity. It's not only human beings, animals, everything. So for such a great personality, what can I speak? So that is one thing. And I can speak so many things, but my real gratitude, what I can do is I'll try to show in my actions for spreading of this movement. Thank you.
So next will be Sunil Prabhu, followed by Navya, followed by Shri Tulsi Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So I would like to talk more about knowledge and compassion, which I got little bit understanding since last 1.5 years when I'm reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the Association of our devotees. So I really like the knowledge what Srila Prabhupada had. He, like any purport we read, he tried to connect the dots from different Puranas, Upanishads, and so many Vedic literature. So that's really inspiring to me, and I'm trying to read and learn as much as possible from the literatures provided by Srila Prabhupada. And then compassion, when Srila Prabhupada was, I believe he was in Canada, and he used to give lecture in the ISKCON temple, and I think one person used to come, and he used to come regularly and listen to the preaching of Srila Prabhupada. And one fine day he didn't show up. Then Srila Prabhupada asked the devotees, what happened, where is this guy? So the devotees said Srila Prabhupada, please forget about him, he is just behind the scene complaining about you. So then Prabhupada said, no, you should call him, because maybe there is something from my past life and his life, so that's why he's complaining. But in this life, at least he should go back to the Godhead. So please call him. So that was the compassion even for the person who was telling bad about him. So, and then lastly, one thing which I have not heard, but when I started coming to ISKCON and during Kirtan, I saw like people were like during Kirtan dancing. I learned some dancing, people are doing Mataji's and Prabhuji's, but I suddenly see like people started jumping. So I was thinking why people are jumping. So I watched couple of videos, Kirtans of Srila Prabhupada, and then I saw like Srila Prabhupada in one of the Kirtans, he just raised the hand with little bit 1 inch of ankle, and the devotees in thousands, they're like jumping 5 feet. So that was the signature step of Srila Prabhupada, and I really liked it. Hare Krishna.
So next will be Navya, followed by Shri Tulsi Mataji, followed by Brajendra Kumar Prabhu.
So I'm going to complain about you. So that my relationship.
Hare Krishna. So, Srila Prabhupada, we all owe him so much, and he helped us with his mercy, and he gave us a center perfect for practicing Krishna consciousness. And out of all of his amazing traits, I want to focus on one, his patience. When he came to the US, all he had with him were his books and more or less no money. And even though he faced so many hardships, he kept on going, even though his mission seemed to be impossible, because it was the order of his spiritual master. He kept on going because it was Lord Chaitanya's mission, and he had faith that Krishna would, that with time, Krishna would make his mission fulfilled, and that he would take care of everything. He was also very patient with his disciples. He explained everything to them, and he taught them everything, and he answered his questions to the best of his ability. He tolerated their mistakes, and he was the perfect teacher to them. And even today, he keeps teaching us through his books and his devotees. And he was the perfect, pure devotee of the Lord, and there's no way we can repay all that he did for us. Thank you.
So next will be Shri Tulsi Mataji, followed by Brajendra Kumar Prabhu, followed by Vaishnavi.
Respectful obeisance to Srila Prabhupada. When I watched Abhay Charan, one thing it's like a heart touching for me is like when Prabhupada was like old, 70 years old, he went and distributed Krishna consciousness to everyone and distributing the Back to Godhead magazine. And in the scorching heat, he was going on and he fatigued. Doctor said and take this, no, he couldn't stop and he going everywhere to give Krishna consciousness. By looking at that incident, I felt like this old man going everywhere, not for his benefit, for the benefit of everyone. Even though he came at 70s to West to preach for us, right? Not for his own interest. So he came for us. Everyone is following the Western culture, right? So only for his Guru's single word he carried to his heart, and he came over here to preach. So Krishna gave a Srila Prabhupada as a gift for us. So that's all I could say. That's when I watched that episode, I had more emotions. Thank you.
So actually we'll have Vaishnavi go now, and then followed by Seth, and then followed by Kailash.
Hare Krishna. So about Prabhupada, it's not like a small feat to talk about him. He has so many stories, so many experiences that obviously I'm not part of them, but hearing them makes me feel like I have been through them. So like my experience in the ISKCON movement, right? When my parents brought me here, at first I didn't like it because I would come every Sunday, spending my whole day here. So that means only one day on the weekend, basically. And then I'm restricted from eating anything I want or anything like that. But like throughout coming here, listening to all the classes, making new friends, and being in this community, it makes me like I got used to this routine that it made me love coming here. So this is all because of Srila Prabhupada bringing my family here and getting used to this ISKCON movement and learning different experiences, reading different books. It's just all because of Prabhupada. And like coming here on a cargo ship, suffering 2 heart attacks, it's not a small thing. Like if I had that experience, I don't think I would have survived that. But following the instructions of a spiritual master, this is such a thing that we have to value. We have to come here and show our gratefulness for Prabhupada and come and visit the deities every single week. So this is just my small appreciation for Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki.
So now will be Seth, followed by Plush, followed by Gopipa.
Hare Krishna, like our respectful basis and University back in 2025 and to all the devotees gathered here. So it's another year here, coming to the temple for another Vyasa Puja and Masmi festival. Just feels like each year it gets more and more ecstatic, more additional feeling of family, and you can feel Prabhupada's mercy and compassion. Like Maharaj said, patience with us all. Like I really feel like super grateful. Like walking around and shouting in the valley, Maharaj, keep giving me service to do, and thanks to Prabhupada and creating this movement and spreading this movement all over the world. I feel like it's bringing more and more people together, and super grateful to come here and get to do some service. And I'm learning so much through his books and everything. Slowly but surely I'm studying a little bit each day, and it's a lot to learn, but I feel like through the mercy of the devotees, like I keep getting fed information and being able to digest it slowly but surely. But one thing that always makes me smile is there was an instance where I think Prabhupada was driving in a car and he saw a Sherwin-Williams ad or some kind of logo with the paint dripping over the world, and I guess he turned to a devotee and he's like, that was Lord Chaitanya's mission, is to inundate the world with Krishna consciousness, like the logos inundated with paint, the world with paint. So little stories about like that with Prabhupada really make me smile and make me happy. So I hope I can continue learning more about Prabhupada and serving the devotees. So, Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna. So next is Kailash, followed by Gopiba, followed by Krishna Prema Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. So, Srila Prabhupada, I don't know like how much like we know about him. It's just always feels like we need to like learn more and more and more. Like there are so many intimate pastimes with him where like he has like impacted each and every one of our lives through his books, through his devotees, everyone like. So one of the instances that I remember is like all of us Indians, like we come to America just for earning money. So one of the guy, I remember he was in Boston, and in Prabhupada he was asking like, oh, what are you here for? Like he was like liberty meaning to him. And then Prabhupada said like, so all of you are here just to earn money, but you are something to get from America. But I'm here to give something to America. So this is the person who is talking about like giving something rather than not just taking anything. So like one of his very pastimes, and then the first time I got introduced to Prabhupada was like ISKCON. I learned a bit about it, but I learned about it when I went to New York in like student camp in his Tompkinson Square Park and all the his first place where like they were telling stories about how one person was chasing behind him and like trying to kill him at night, a druggist, when he was to live alone near that small place. I forgot the name of the place, like it's a tiny place in the New York near. And then there the message was like this whole documentary, the whole message was Bharat Bhumi Janma Hoile Janma
Hoilo jar.
Hoilo jar Janma Sakchat Kare Karo Parupkar. Yeah, so that we have to perfect our lives and then give to others. So that was like the message that resonated with me a lot, because that's what I felt like, that's the duty of all Indians to like perfect their lives and free themselves from the bondage and then make others free as well. So I think that's this message would not be like, Prabhupada's message is always very bold and clear. He would call like anyone rascal and this thing, because if someone is like, mudha, so the term is mudha, so it's like, if someone is like, propagating false philosophy or anything, like people just shy and say wishy-washy, goody words, but Prabhupada is like, is just like bold and clear and like, you read his books, like there's no doubt in philosophy or anything. So yeah, that's the thing that we have, that I learned from him. Thank you, Prabhupada, for that. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So next will be Radhikarupa Mataji, and then Brajendra Kumar Prabhu, then Gopi Balaji.
Hare Krishna. Now Vishnu Bhag, Shri Srila Shri Bhakti Swami Time, Vyasa Saraswati, Bhagavan Chandi, Devi Shri Shri Mari Pasha Padashtarana. So, actually, could you tell me about the computer real quickly? It's right there in the corner. On the bottom row. Yeah. So, in preparing an offering for Srila Prabhupada, one thing that came to mind was this specific verse. So Krishna, Samaham sarvabhuteshu namiteshu stinapa priyaha ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya maite tasyu kapyaham. So the translation is, I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend in me, or is in me, and I am also a friend to him. And so this is talking about Krishna's relationship with the devotee and just with the individual person. Like Krishna, he always favors everyone. Like he always gives to everyone. He always provides us with food, shelter, rain, everything that we need, the bare necessities. But Krishna, he shows special favor to those who engage in his devotional service. Now, Srila Prabhupada, he doesn't have that condition, I found that Srila Prabhupada, you don't have to be a friend to Srila Prabhupada. You don't have to render that service to Srila Prabhupada for him to favor you, for him to look upon you. Srila Prabhupada, he's always looking for, he looks at everybody with equanimity, like equanimity. And he's always just hoping he just sees everybody as a devotee of the Lord, and he treats everybody all the same. And it just reminded me of this story of whenever Srila Prabhupada, he was sending Tamal Krishna Goswami to Tamal Krishna Maharaj to someplace in India, I don't remember the place specifically. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he was kind of a little hesitant, a little resistant, because there wasn't much effort, there wasn't much
productivity in the preaching in that area specifically. He had said that even whenever he preaches in this specific area, there's no one's really taking up the practice seriously. They love to hear it, but nobody's really changing their lifestyle, changing their habits. And Srila Prabhupada said, it's not the people, it's the preaching that's at fault. And so to Amal Krishna Maharaj, he was like, yes, Srila Prabhupada, it is my fault. And Srila Prabhupada described that you need to not improve, but it's the preaching that will turn somebody into devotee. Whenever we're preaching, we have the intention of turning a Jagai and Madai into a devotee. So it's not going to be easy, but everybody can take up that practice, just because, like Srila Prabhupada did use the example, Mahaprabhu, or in Nityananda Prabhu, they were able to make Jagai and Madai, who we are like Jagai and Madais, into pure devotees. And so, I don't know, it just reminded me that Srila Prabhupada, he always, and he looks at everybody like this. He, whenever he's preaching, he sees, oh, it's like, I also heard another pastime where Srila Prabhupada, a devotee had left the temple, and a devotee was talking about, oh, this devotee isn't here anymore, he didn't take it seriously. And Srila Prabhupada said, no, it's your fault. You have to be at fault. And Srila Prabhupada, he always sees it as your responsibility, like his responsibility, his personal responsibility to take care of all of us. It's with each individual, and I find this with myself as well. Srila Prabhupada, he is personally crafted, he personally takes care of all of us in many different ways, and he always tries to make sure that everybody can become a pure devotee, Lord, who can take up this bhakti practice easily, and he will not stop until everybody is a devotee. I hope that with this community and in the association of all the Vaishnavas here, that we all can continue to serve Srila Prabhupada and engage more in preaching and be able to just really, exponentially grow this community. It's grown a lot, and there's so many wonderful devotees here, and it's amazing to be able to constantly have your association. And Srila Prabhupada, he's taking care of each and every single one of us in such a special way. And I just wanted to say thank you to Srila Prabhupada for that. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
So next will be Bhajendra Kumar Prabhu, followed by Gopi Bhav, followed by Evan.
Hare Krishna, everybody. So, thank you for all the gifts, Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Srila Prabhupada, happy birthday to you. I started listening to your Leelamrita this year. It's narrated by a devotee, Vyasa Mataji. Heard so many challenges you had to go through to bestow your mercy on all of us. Today I offer my thanks for a few things. Thank you for the gift of your books. Somehow they fell in my hands and I started reading them. Thank you for the gift of letting me live so close to your temple. Thank you for the gift of delicious ISKCON prasadam. I'm hooked to it. Thank you for the gift of your devotees' lectures. It's working. I can feel it. Thank you for the gift of association with your devotees. We read your books together and we celebrate your festivals like yesterday and today. Thank you for the gift of allowing me to serve your devotees. Please gift your devotees unlimited patience as we behave like petulant kids at times. Some of us do. Thank you for the gift of my dear Gurudev shelter. I beg your mercy to make me capable
to serve him nicely. Dear Prabhupada, thank you so much. I never thought man we will be able to sing for you so nicely. Thank you for being so merciful with us, for giving us a chance to make better use of this life. Please help me get better at being your servant. These are matchless gifts, dear Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much.
So next will be Prabhupada, followed by Evan, followed by Sangeeta.
Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauranga Krishna Nirvishesha Srinivadi Prashrati Deshkarma. So while I was reading Nectar of Instruction, text 3, I came upon the short expert that Srila Prabhupada said, and it really moved me. He said, "One should not be impatient in Krishna consciousness. Indeed, this Krishna consciousness movement was started single-handedly, and in the beginning there was no response. But because we continued to execute our devotional activities with patience, people gradually began to understand the importance of this movement, and now they are eagerly participating. One should not be impatient in discharging devotional service, but should take instructions from the spiritual master and execute them with patience, depending on the mercy of Guru and Krishna. The successful execution of Krishna conscious activities requires both patience and confidence." And this is coming from Srila Prabhupada's direct experience from traveling to the Western country, not only going on the Jaladuta, but suffering so much while he was in America too. And Srila Prabhupada got through it, and Srila Prabhupada was patient. He was patient towards all of us. I could be a Westerner too, and none of the qualities that Srila Prabhupada found in India could ever be related to America or these worlds. And Srila Prabhupada had to go through all of that, and he still did not complain. He said it was okay. There was this one class I was listening to by a Prabhupada disciple, and she said there was this one time, one of her godbrothers was running the temple, and he was basically doing everything. And all of a sudden, he just completely left the movement, left everything. And all the devotees were in so much distress. How could someone, they all looked up to him and his strong faith in Srila Prabhupada and this mission. And they went to Prabhupada and they said, "Prabhupada, this person left. What should we do now?" And he said, "That's okay." He was true to himself. He didn't keep lying to you guys. And that's how Prabhupada saw positivity, even in moments like this, when this person just got up, left all of his duties. I'd also like to say that Srila Prabhupada was patient even when giving lectures. The first lecture Srila Prabhupada gave, no one was there. And I was reading another book, Chasing the Rhinos. And in that one, Shamshida Prabhu was talking about how, there was always different amounts of people coming to the classes. Sometimes there would be many, and sometimes, for example, in this one church they went to on Sunday, there was only 10 people out of maybe 300 empty seats. And they went, and I think it was Govinda Dasi, she said, "I'm sorry, Srila Prabhupada, no one came." And Srila Prabhupada said, "Didn't you see? Lord Brahma and Nari were there." So in this way, Srila Prabhupada had such amazing spiritual realizations. And actually, one of the people in that class with just 10 people was the Krishna Maharaj. So the amount of people in a class never makes a difference, because Srila Prabhupada impacts everything. Hare Krishna.
So next will be Evan, followed by Bhaju Govinda, followed by Sangeeta.
Hare Krishna. I have been a Hindu my whole life, and I'm in college now, but when I got to middle school, early high school, my friends always ask me, what is Hinduism all about? What do you believe? And I was thinking that's a really good question, but in my head I was like, what am I supposed to say? I don't know. And I didn't have a good answer to that question for a very long time, but my second year of high school, I was able to come across Prabhupada's Bhagavatam books, and I started reading those. And now I am on the 11th canto, reading through that, and I have an answer. Material attachment, material desire, all these things will end in sorrow. There is no happiness here, but there is one source of divine love, divine peace, divine bliss, and that is Krishna. And it is only through Prabhupada that I was able to discover this goal, this joy that was there this whole time, but never brought to me. So, Hare Krishna.
So next will be Bhaju Govinda, followed by Sangeeta, followed by Rukmini Padma Devasi.
You know how to play on the harmonium?
No, we have 3 nights.
Oh, okay.
For the translation.
It's such a sweet bhajan. Srila Prabhupada really felt this bhajan. And even just that first verse. There was a Prabhupada disciple, a young woman. She went to go see Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada was, he was praying this bhajan, meditating on this bhajan. So she said, you know what, let me wait. I don't want to disturb him. After he finishes, then I'll go inside and I'll talk to him about what I need to talk to him about. So he sang this bhajan, the first verse. And then he sang the first verse again. And then he sang the first verse again. And he sang the first verse for 20 minutes. 20 minutes. He only chanted and meditated on that first verse. Can we go down to the translation? O Lord Hari, I have spent my life uselessly, having obtained a human birth and having not worshipped Radha and Krishna. I have knowingly drunk poison. For 20 minutes, this was Srila Prabhupada's meditation. I know we've used a lot of different words to describe Srila Prabhupada. And this is just a great example of the kind of devotion that Srila Prabhupada had. The humility that Srila Prabhupada has. O Lord Hari, I have spent my life uselessly, having obtained a human birth and having not worshipped Radha and Krishna. I have knowingly drunk poison. That's our holiness, Srila Prabhupada, his divine grace. This is how he felt deep in his heart. And what to say for the rest of us. Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada ki
Jai. So next will be Sangeeta, followed by Rukmini Padmanabhaji, followed by Sumandi.
Mine's going to be a little short because, I mean, there's so much we can say about Srila Prabhupada. Like, we can go on for days. But there's so much gratitude that I have in my heart for him, for all of his sacrifices. Because of him, we get to taste the sweet mercy of Krishna Prasadam, of Kirtan. We get to worship Krishna. We get to partake in all these joyous activities, festivals, because of Srila Prabhupada's endless efforts, all for us. And there's so much gratitude in my heart because of that, and I'm sure we all have that gratitude. And because of that, we have to keep working towards this mission. We have to help. And Srila Prabhupada left his body, but he is still alive in his books, in his teachings. He's always here with us. Hare Krishna.
So next will be Padmanabhaji, followed by Sumandi, followed by some video offerings.
Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada. I was just saying that, I was hearing something about my life and others' life. I was thinking our life is just like a child in a mother's womb, upside down. We are connected to the mother through the umbilical cord. Mother is providing all the nutrition to the child. So it's a very miserable condition, 9 months, and the food comes through the mother in the form of blood or juice, whatever, how that comes. So similarly, Srila Prabhupada has provided us his books, which are just like juice, blood, whatever a small child needs in the womb of the mother, hanging upside down, very helpless condition, praying to Krishna, and then coming out. And if it's non-devotee family, they are stuck. They are fortunate, they find devotees, and of course many other things. So yeah, so Prabhupada's books are very important. I wanted to read out one thing from, there's a Vyasa Puja book which I got from last week from New York. From that I want to read something from my Guru Maharaj, his Jayapataka Guru Maharaj. He has said, we have nothing to manufacture but simply carry the message as a faithful peon. That will be effective. One should be very sincere to his spiritual master and Krishna simultaneously. Then everything comes out successful. One prayer I want to mention from His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj. He's offering prayers in that book. Srila Prabhupada, please continue to bless us so that we can remain as your loyal servants in your ISKCON, and become effectively engaged in fulfilling the predictions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So these are wonderful prayers. I was just quickly reading through. And one more thing I wanted to mention about the point I mentioned about the distress, also from the book. I didn't prepare too well, but this is such a nice and expert from there. The soul and the super soul, both of them are sitting together, and God knows everything about me. So I do not require to pray from God to get me out of this distress. He knows everything. Why shall I pray? He leaves everything to God. He does not pray. He prays to glorify the Lord, God. How great you are, not for his personal interest. Even if, now this is the part I want to read actually, even if he is distressed, he says, "Oh Lord, it is your kindness. You have put me in distress just to rectify me. I would have been put into more and more 1,000 times in distress, but you're giving me little, that's all. That is your great mercy." That is his vision. He's not disturbed. A person who's in Krishna consciousness, he doesn't care for all the material distress or insults or honor because he's aloof from this. So all these thoughts, teachings, actually everything has come from Srila Prabhupada. And lastly, I will say that thank you, Srila Prabhupada, for giving your life for the benefit of all of us and for the billions of people yet to come in contact with you. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
So next will be Samanvi, followed by a couple videos, followed by Ramya Mataji.
Hare Krishna. I think that we can all agree on the fact that Prabhupada and his movement played a huge part in our lives. Like, without Prabhupada, without ISKCON, our lives would be completely different than what we're living in today. And I think our lives would be pretty boring, but one of Prabhupada's really good traits was that he was really tenacious. He was full of tenacity. So when Prabhupada was in India and he was writing the Srimad Bhagavatam books, he decided that it was time to get them printed. So he hired a company called OK Press, and so when they were working on printing the second canto, he decided, let's sell some of the first canto books so people, they want to read my books. But sadly, not everyone was really interested in his books, and it was pretty sad because now everyone really loves them. But yeah, even the printing company didn't really care because they were still getting paid. So what does it matter to them? But Prabhupada never got discouraged. He never felt down because he knew that it was what his spiritual master wanted. And he had faith in Krishna that his plan would work, and it did, because whenever you go to ISKCON now, people are always giving classes about his books. And without Prabhupada, I wouldn't have learned harmonium, I wouldn't have been able to play kartals or sing kirtan, and I never would have made the friends with the people around me, and I will always be thankful for Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
So now we're going to play a couple videos from some devotees, and then will be Ramya Mataji, then will be Usha Mataji.
Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada. First of all, I am thankful to you for the books that you have written. You've written purports of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. You've written so many cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. Because of your relentless efforts writing purports of these books, these scriptures, we are able to get the most confidential knowledge of these scriptures, and not just that, we are able to distribute these books and share this knowledge with others as well. So I am very thankful to you for writing all these books. Another thing is because of your efforts, we have so many temples. Almost in every city we have a temple. At least in USA, wherever I go, whichever city I go to, I get a temple over there. And today is Krishna Janmashtami, and tens of thousands of people are visiting these temples. They are getting the darshan of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda and Krishna, Balram, Radha, Rani. And so many are able to have Krishna Prasadam. Thank you for starting the Sandila feast. So many living entities are able to have a morsel of prasadam which will ensure that they have a better life, at least if not this life, then the next life will be a better life or even a devotee life. So thank you so much for that. Thanks for being our general. We are your soldiers, we are your representatives. And I always remember that whenever I interact with a non-devotee, that I am your soldier and I try to do what would please you the most. Hare Krishna.
Let us just talk us through August 28th, 1973. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai!
So next will be Ramya Mataji, followed by Usha Mataji, followed by Nalini Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everybody. Dear Prabhupada and Masters, please accept my humble obeisances and our glory to Srila Prabhupada. So this is my first celebration, in fact, like first Janmashtami celebration with ISKCON temple, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And now, since it's been a very auspicious appearance day of Srila Prabhupada, my heart overflows with the gratitude, especially with all the teachings, the books, and all the movement that he started. So, as I've been witnessing these joyous celebrations in this temple and also all the other ISKCON temples that I've been visiting recently, ISKCON just happened to me in the last 3-4 years. And everywhere wherever I go, I feel that there is so much of joy in chanting, and it is all because of Prabhupada's guidance. So that always reminds me that we are bestowed with immeasurable gifts, and when we reflect on his life, we can always feel that we're filled with a deep appreciation because Prabhupada, he touched so many hearts that were transforming normal people like me into, I'm just saying like it's me, but the normal, ordinary lives into extraordinary devotees if you just read any of his disciples' books. It's mainly because of his pure devotion to Krishna, without any desire for his personal glorification, which in general sets a profound example, or especially to me, to how I can teach Srila. So that being said, now that my husband is not here, so I'm speaking for both of us. We are especially grateful for this opportunity to praise Srila with the guidance of Prabhupada's teachings. And on this day, I want to say that it is our heartfelt wish that Srila grows up inspired by Prabhupada's teachings. And sorry. With the principles of Krishna consciousness in every step of his life as well as in all our lives. Sorry, Hare Krishna. I want to speak more, but I don't know, just try. We just want Sri Ram to inspire all the people, all the non-devotees, everywhere wherever he goes, and be the best devotee that Krishna sent him here. And let Prabhupada's all his efforts it has to come true, because he has that boundless compassion and then tireless efforts that he has put into this efforts that he's put into spreading this Krishna consciousness, and our hearts are filled with gratitude for his divine presence in our lives, and also the legacy he has left for this world that we need to follow. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
So next will be Vishnu Mataji, followed by Nalini Mataji, followed by Krishna Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया कोरो ए दासे क्रीड़ा पेखा अतिहीन सकल सहने बल दिया कोरो निज मानिस प्रिया. Gurudev, give to this servant just one drop of mercy. I am lower than a blade of grass. Give me all help, give me strength. Let me be as you are, without desires or aspirations. Thank you, Sri Prabhupada, for everything.
So next will be Nalini Mataji, followed by Krishna Prabhupada, followed by Guru Granth Guru.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
This is a surprise. I didn't know I was going to speak. In fact, yesterday, yesterday I couldn't even speak. I got up one day and I was trying to chant early in the morning and the voice wasn't coming up. So it came back, so I'm supposed to pay gratitude to Srila Prabhupada. And if I had known a little earlier, just like my students, I would have gone on ChatGPT, but that I did not have a choice. I hope I'm audible. Okay. How I started my journey with Srila Prabhupada. When I came in, I was looking at Srila Prabhupada and everybody was saying he is Guru. You must pray to him first. And I'm like, no, I want to connect with God. I don't know you. So that is how I started my journey. I don't know you. Srila Prabhupada, I do not know you. And gradually I started coming to Mangalarti, morning Mangalarti, and then gradually I started connecting. And then I heard one day many things. That about 2 points which stood out for me. Dvaipan Prabhuji said, he said something to Dvaipan Prabhuji. Let me say that first. I said, Prabhuji, I have lots of questions. It looks like nowadays I'm connecting with Krishna and Srila Prabhupada, and they are answering me. Mysteriously they are answering me. And what Dvaipan Prabhuji said, do you remember, Prabhuji? He said, if you are a question bank, then he is an answer bank. You heard that? If you are a question bank, then he is an answer bank. So it was wonderful. And another thing, Krishna Prema, I hear you too. I record things. And Krishna Prema recently said, we are all servants of a servant. And who is Srila Prabhupada? Am I correct? Did I get that right? Okay, so I decided that I should be a good servant of the one who will give me answers, being curious for the lifetime that I have got, a life I got, to do what I'm supposed to do, because not every being gets human life. That's all. Thank you, and bless me, Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone.
That was not ChatGPT.
So next will be Krishna Prema Prabhu.
So, to highlight a quality that is often overlooked in reference, more people, when they talk about Srila Prabhupada, they'll talk about his classes, his lectures, or they'll talk about his books. But I want to bring to light another quality that often is only sidelined and only every now and then mentioned, but I really want to bring it to the forefront, and specifically why it's so important for me. So that I have a question for you. If you know the answer that Srila Prabhupada gives, I ask that you refrain and try to let people guess. But what is the most beautiful animal? Anyone take a guess? A cow, okay, that's a good answer. And
But this is not animal also. It's a mother. But I'm saying cow.
okay, cow. So that is actually, so 1975 in Dallas, Srila Prabhupada was on a walk with some of his disciples, and they were walking past the pasture, and he turned and says, the horse is the most beautiful animal. And then the disciple asked, isn't it the cow? Jokingly, Srila Prabhupada says, no, cows aren't very beautiful. You wouldn't think that because you think the cow is the mother, but also said, no, it's the horse that is the most beautiful animal. These little finer details from conversations, recordings from morning walks, stuff like that really sticks out. Another one, which I explained, my mother noted one time, she was saying when we were getting ready to go to the temple in Potomac, she said, you always dress so nicely, like in pride, but also she was questioning why. And there's a small quote that I always like to reflect on that Srila Prabhupada has. I'm trying to bring it up right here on my phone. So, and the context is this is a conversation between Rameshwar Prabhu and Srila Prabhupada. They were talking about how to present the movement in terms of the books and the preaching. And then ultimately Srila Prabhupada gave this quote, which was what I explained to my mother. No, we must be gentlemen. We cannot become low class. Just dress like a gentleman. So that way, whenever we present Srila Prabhupada's movement, be a gentleman or a lady. So Srila Prabhupada obviously gave us the Srimad Bhagavatam. He gave us the Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and all these different beautiful Shastra. But he also gave us practical advice of how to present ourselves and how to live in the material world. Even though Srila Prabhupada dressed in the guise of sannyasi, simple, but he was still elegant. He was still a statesman. He carried gravitas and weight when he walked in. Obviously, when he started the movement, or before he even started the movement, and before he even found his Guru Maharaj, he was a follower of Gandhi. And then his Guru Maharaj fixed him up properly and realized that no, you first have to understand spiritual understanding to have true liberation. And then, of course, he went on to establish ISKCON. Now, upon establishing ISKCON, he brought us the Rath Yatra festival. And eventually, it spread to the point all over the world. Now, obviously, people talk about the importance of San Francisco Rath Yatra or New York Rath Yatra, but there's one inauguration that is a little more significant in regards to the story of Srila Prabhupada, moving away from Gandhi and to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. It's the London Rath Yatra. Because there is a saying, in Victorian England, that the sun never sets on the British Empire. And India was the crown jewel. But the Brits in their foolishness, they never actually took the true jewel of India, which is the Vedic literature and the knowledge. They went for everything else, everything material, but not the true spiritual potency of India. So Srila Prabhupada, when he went around the world and established ISKCON, he established his own empire. And the crowning achievement of that was in the front where you have a picture of Jagannath's Rath Yatra cart towering over Trafalgar Square, higher than Lord Nelson. So Srila Prabhupada saw the sun never sets on the British Empire and raised them. The benediction moon never sets on the Hare Krishna movement. Something that's so potent that can spread around the entire world and stay around the entire world. The British Empire collapsed. Srila Prabhupada's movement is still going strong and is still expanding every single day organically. And there's one other thing I'd like to highlight before I wrap up my offering, and that's the importance of parampara and how he has ripened this fruit. So obviously, Bhaktivinoda Thakur cleared the ground to create a grove so that bhakti could be reestablished as a respectable spiritual path. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur fertilized the ground, specifically Srila Prabhupada. And then Srila Prabhupada went around and started planting mango seeds. And the reason why I say mango seeds is specifically because of this quote that he has. Prema is the mature condition of love. Just like a ripe mango and a green mango. Green mango is the cause of ripe mango. But to taste ripe mango is better than unripe mango. Similarly, before attaining love of Godhead, you have got different stages. Just like the same mango, it passes through different stages. Then, one day, it comes to a nice yellow color, fully ripened, and the taste is so nice. So Srila Prabhupada, following the order of his guru, and by their mercy, following the order of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, has come to the point where now we are starting to see these mango trees pop up all around the world. And that takes time and process. But ultimately, as long as you're getting that endeavor, even if you acknowledge that you're an unripe green mango, one day you hope to be a nice golden yellow, like Srila Prabhupada and follow his footsteps, it is possible. And to find the final one, I'd actually just like to finish on Srila Prabhupada's words, and I won't read the full poem because it's actually quite long. But when he arrived in Boston, he wrote multiple poems coming over. But on the Boston Pier, he wrote one specific poem, which is very beautiful, and I want to just finish on the final 2 stanzas of that poem. O Lord, I am just like a puppet in your hands. So if you have brought me here to dance, then make me dance. Make me dance, O Lord. Make me dance as you like. I have no devotion, nor do I have any knowledge. But I have strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. I have been designated as Bhaktivedanta, and now, if you like, you can fulfill the real purport of Bhaktivedanta. Signed, the most unfortunate, insignificant beggar, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, on board the ship Jaladuta Commonwealth Pier, Boston, Massachusetts, USA, dated September 18th, 1965. Srila Prabhupada.
We'll go Divya Mataji, and then we'll conclude with Guru Govinda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. I would like to read a text from Sundarabanda Ramayana. Sundare Sundaro Rama, Sundare Sundari Hada, Sundare Sundari Sita, Sundare Sundaram Vanam, Sundare Sundaram Kavyam, Sundare Sundaram Kapi, Sundare Sundaram Mantram, Sundare Kim Na Sundaram. Everything is beautiful. About Sundarakanda, Lord Hanuman, Mother Sita, Lord Rama. Hanuman made Sita happy by showing the ring of Rama. He made Rama happy by sharing the well-being of Sita. He made his king Sugriva happy by fulfilling the mission. In the same way, Prabhupada fulfilled his master's mission by coming to the West. He made people happy by sharing Krishna Katha. He made us all happy by sharing his transcendental books. I hope I will join this spiritual journey with my Gurudev one day. Happy birthday, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. I'd like to offer my obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, the assembled Vaishnavas, and to my spiritual master practitioner. I would also like to acknowledge all the organizers of the beautiful Janmashtami festival yesterday and the beautiful program today. Thank you very much. I think that devotees are so fortunate, especially the cooks, because when they cook something that everybody enjoys, sometimes I used to think I'd like to have just 10 years free where I can learn how to cook nicely so that I can please devotees. And then, but it seems I don't have that 10 years as of yet. But one day I may come. So, I wanted to just illuminate a quotation from the Brahma Vaivarta Purana. And just to set the stage, this is at the time when Krishna is leaving his body. He's sitting
at the feet of a small banyan tree. And at that time, Mother Ganga was very, very concerned that, Krishna's going to leave, this auspiciousness is going to go, and what will be the destiny of the inhabitants of this planet, because, Kali Yuga is coming. So she's praying to Krishna that, how will people become purified, because by your presence the whole world is purified. And then Krishna, there's about 11 verses in the Brahma Vaivarta Purana which he speaks. So I'll just speak two of these verses. He says, Kale pancha sahasrani, varshani tishta bhutale, papani papino yani, tupyam dashanti snanata. He said, the Blessed Lord said, for at least 5,000 years during the age of Kali, the sinners will become purified by bathing in your waters. So he says that. And then later on he says, Man mantropasaka sparshat bashmi bhutani takshanat Bhavishanti darshanascha snanat eva hi janavi. Another name for Ganga is Janavi. So in this particular verse, he is saying that, and this is important to remember because he's saying that people will get purified for 5,000 years, but what happens after that 5,000 years? Right? And if we do the mathematics, Krishna left the planet in 3104 BC, right? So anybody here good at mental mathematics? Add on 5,000 years to that, what do you get? You get 1896. That's when Srila Prabhupada was born. So Mother Ganga is going to purify the whole world for people who bathe. But what happens after this small concession that Krishna has given Ganga? Then he says, thereafter the world shall witness the auspicious advent of he who devoutly chants my Mahamantra. At his mere touch or sight, impurity shall be reduced to ashes instantaneously, much like the purification that comes from people bathing in your Ganga. So it's important that even Krishna is predicting Prabhupada's appearance. When Prabhupada spoke of his own appearance year, he said that Bhaktivinoda Thakur in 1896, he distributed the book, The Life and Precepts of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this book was actually sent to all the different main libraries in the world. In fact, even in South Africa, in Cape Town, the university archives has that book of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I'm from South Africa, so there's lots of places where it was sent. So Srila Prabhupada is so important that Krishna actually predicts his coming. And in the rest of the verse glorifies the movement and the followers of the movement. So it's a very important point that how important Srila Prabhupada was, that Krishna predicts him in the Brahma Vaivarta Purana. So now Prabhupada came with an urgent message because Kali Yuga is rapidly taking, all good qualities away. And it's important for the followers of Srila Prabhupada to try to imbibe that urgency. And many of the university students here, you're very young, so you have so much time to really get to a place, just like one of the boys said that Bharatapumi hoile manusha janmadar janma sartaka karikar para upakar. So sartaka kari means first purify yourself. Prabhupada gave a whole lecture just on those two words, sartaka kari. Just first purify yourself and then others. So that's the urgency, is first work on ourselves, self-realization before God-realization. So becoming selfless instead of selfish. And in this regard, the Bhagavad Gita states in 1623 that he who disregards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection, happiness, nor supreme destination. So we have the absolute truth. If we neglect it, then basically we're like a cloud which has no position in any sphere. So that's kind of the destination. Ashradadanaha Purusha Dharmasya Parantapa Aprapyamam Nivartanti. That those who have no faith, Krishna says, Aprapyamam, they don't obtain me. Right? So this, we have to take it seriously from the very earliest of when we come to Krishna consciousness. And then, Prabhupada's tireless efforts, which were I was reminded about it when the lecture was being given by Vishvatomukha. Is that correct?
Yes.
And I was listening just 2 days ago where Srila Prabhupada was saying how when he first started in 26 Second Avenue, this Mukunda had arranged that place for him. He was personally cooking for 12 to 15 devotees a day, and he said 200 people at the love feast. So can you imagine the 70-year-old man cooking for 200 people on the Sunday? So Srila Prabhupada completely just, he gave up his he had no personal motivation to do this, and he was totally selfless. So there's just one last verse from Bhagavad Gita, and then I'll be done. For one who explains the supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end he will come back to me. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. So, Srila Prabhupada was that most dear person, and he had created just like the flame. He had created so many thousands of people that can attain this perfection and ultimately attain eternal life. So on this day we stop to acknowledge his greatness, his humility, his patience, all of these wonderful qualities that all the devotees have talked about. Even this beautiful story about Pramod Puri Maharaj, who, when the devotees first stayed in the Gaudiya Math, at that time he was the main person in charge of the guests, and not just he wouldn't even allow them to cook. They wouldn't be allowed to do so many services like arti. So Srila Prabhupada, he first he gave the heavy sauce, and then he gave the nectar. And the nectar was so sweet that fortunately it was Mulabha. Yeah, she recorded this because this is so important to see how even great Vaishnavas, remember Bhaktisiddhanta gave sannyas to 27 sannyasis, none of them fell down. It was only the ones that followed later, maybe some of them may have fallen. But such great personalities were completely transformed by Srila Prabhupada. So he was not an ordinary person, that he could even transform these great personalities. So thank you very much, and thank you for giving us all of the nectar. Just hearing that today, it was like, the Ganga of beautiful glorification, and unfortunately everybody had a short amount of time, but thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much once again. Okay, so now we can do the next event is the offering of Pushpanjali. We all will stand up and come closer. As well as we can Prabhupada and Nandi be able to speak. Yeah. And follow that will be Aarti, so I won't be needing him.